Today's video is sponsored by Mercari, but it is filled with all the tips and tricks that I've learned from personal experience selling on Mercari for over 2 years. I use Mercari to resell things that I find at thrift stores for a very low price, but I've used it many times to get rid of my own personal stuff as well. And that is actually the first tip that we're going to be talking about. If you're just starting to sell on Mercari, your best bet is going to be to start off by selling things you already have on hand. There are many resellers on Mercari who use it as a side hustle, but more than anything, Mercari is geared toward personal sellers. People who aren't necessarily trying to make a career out of selling on Mercari, who just want to use it to get rid of things from around their home that they no longer need. Selling the stuff you already have is the perfect place to start because it will help you keep your investments low, especially if you are trying to make selling on Mercari a business for you. It will give you the chance to practice, to learn all the ins and outs, to practice listing and taking pictures. To give you an idea of what kind of things you can list from around your home on Mercari, I'm going to share some of my top sales with you, and I'll put a screenshot here for you to see. The first one is a pair of ceramic parrots. They were like home decor. Those sold for $44. A PlayStation 5 Spider-Man game sold for $27. We have a portable baby bassinet that sold for $25, and a Lilo and Stitch backpack that sold for $54. And the last thing that I'll share here with you is this Asus laptop. It sold for a total of $128. The great thing about this is that all of this was pure profit because it was just things that were around my home that were taking up space that I no longer needed. So do this today, right now. Go Marie Kondo mode. Look through all of your closets, your drawers, your kitchen, your backyard, and start listing anything you no longer need or use. Tip number 2 is to list items in bundles. Once you've gathered all of the items from around your home that you want to list on Mercari, chances are you're going to end up with a lot of items that are pretty similar. So why not list them as a bundle or as a lot on Mercari? For example, if you have lots of baby clothes that is all 12 months in size, list it together as one listing. Or if you have lots of jeans that are the same size, list them in sets of 2s or 3s. This works really well on Mercari because it gives people a better deal and it makes the shipping cost worth it. And this works especially well for items that are lightweight and any items that are not necessarily a name brand. To give you a better idea, I'm going to share some examples with you, and I'll put the screenshots here off to the side. First, we have a young adult book bundle. We have a bundle of 3 skinny jeans. We have a bundle of 3 graphic t-shirts. All of these shirts were lightweight, they were similar size, and they were Carter's and Justice, which really aren't worth that much on its own. We have a 16-piece Granimal outfit set and 7 Carter sleep and play suits. When you are listing in bundles, just make sure the items are very similar. Make sure they are the same gender, the same size, and the same kind of style. So list casual with casual, dressy with dressy. I just feel that this makes the bundles sell better. Tip number 3 is to take clear, detailed photos. I don't just sell on Mercari, I buy there quite a bit too. Most of the time, this is the first place I go to when I'm looking for something. And I can tell you from personal experience that if a listing does not have enough clear photos from all angles, I'm just going to skip it. I want to be confident and assured that I am picking the right thing. And since I can't hold the item, feel it, and see it like I can at a retail store, pictures are the only thing that I have to go off of. I'll leave a video linked right here where I share my whole picture taking process and everything that I use to make sure that I have high quality photos. But if you're just getting started, to keep it simple, maybe you can just take pictures in the natural daylight. Make sure you do it during the morning and that you take it close to a window, or better yet, take your stuff outside for the clearest pictures. This is actually what I used to do when I got started, and the pictures came out beautiful. You can upload up to 12 photos on Mercari, so make sure to use as many as you need to take pictures of all parts of the item. For clothing, make sure to take a picture of the brand name, of the size, and the material tag as well. And for your very first photo, which is your cover photo that everyone will see as they're shopping on Mercari, make sure it is nice and bright. I like to use Photo Room to remove the background and make it look more professional. Tip number 4 is to write detailed descriptions. When I'm shopping, after I look at the photos, the next place I go to is the description. If the description has all the information I need, then I am more likely to go ahead and buy the item or send the seller an offer. But if I have to ask a question, I may still ask it, but while I'm waiting for the seller to answer, I'm going to be looking at other Mercari listings or even checking out other platforms to see what's out there. So if I find something better meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and purchase, and that first seller missed out on a sale. So just ask yourself, what would I want to know if I was purchasing this item? Here are some of the questions I ask and that I want to know the answers to before I purchase. Is it used? If so, how used is it? Does it have any sort of flaws? Is it authentic? I know Mercari does a pretty good job of keeping sellers from posting things that are fake, but still, with things that are commonly duped like AirPods and designer items, purses, I want to be assured in writing in the description that what I am about to purchase is the real thing. For clothing, how is the fit? Is it skinny, relaxed, or oversized? For shoes, what is the width of the shoes? Is it narrow, medium, or wide? If the tag on the shoes say what is the width, I'd like to take a picture of that, but I will also put it in writing in the description. I've had someone return a pair of shoes before because I only took the picture of the tag that said it was narrow, but I didn't put it in the description, and so I got a return. To avoid that, make sure to put all that information there for people to see. But also for clothing, go ahead and write out what the material is like. Is it lightweight, stretchy, or what? And then for everything else, for purses, home decor, shoes, clothing, everything, put in as many measurements as you can. Next tip is to use keywords in your titles. Keywords are the words that potential buyers will put into the search bar on the Mercari app to find your item. The problem here is that we all search for things differently. We all use different verbiage to name different kinds of clothes, shoes, appliances, home decor, and everything else. This right here can be an army green button-up sweater, but it may also be searched as a camo cardigan sweater. Same with these boots right here. They can be some brown leather boots, or they can be some lace-up combat boots. That is why the main goal when creating a title for your Mercari listing is to include as many keywords that actually apply to the item you are trying to sell. This is going to take some time to learn. I can create keyword-rich titles off the top of my head, but I didn't start off that way. In the beginning, I used many tools to help me out. The first one being Google search. To use this method, what you're going to want to do is go to the Google search bar and input your own terminology. How would you describe the item? And then from the search results that come up, use that to reference them and to come up with even more keywords. And if you can find the exact style name or model number of the item, all the better. Definitely use that because it will make it easier for potential buyers to find your item. I'll leave a video linked right here that I created recently where I show how I find style names and stock photos to use in my listings. But even if your exact item does not come up on Google when you search for it, you can still use the similar items that do come up because more than likely some of those keywords will apply to your item as well. You can also do this right on the Mercari app as well. Search for your item or an item that is similar and see what keywords other sellers are using. Add those to your titles, and while you're at it, put them in your description as well. A big warning here though, don't use keywords just for the sake of having more of them in your titles and descriptions. Make sure that the keywords you are using actually apply to your item. When you use keywords that aren't even related to what you're selling, it's deceiving and your buyer may end up with something they didn't expect to get. Tip number 6 is to price wisely. When it comes to pricing, the first thing you want to do is go check out what is the market price for your item at that moment. Let's say I was trying to determine the price of a Lacoste polo dress. Going to go to the search bar and search for just that. The idea here is to determine what is the market price by analyzing the first 3 to 4 rows of the search results. Sometimes these search results you get are decent and they are exactly what you need for you to analyze what your price should be, but sometimes you may need to use the filters off to the left hand side to narrow the search results and give you more specific examples. In this instance, it's not necessary, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. The first thing to determine here is what are people listing this dress for on Mercari on average. We have one here for 43, a 37, 43, 35, and here's this one that is 75. If you see a listing that is way below the average of the rest of the dresses, ignore that one. More than likely, that is someone just trying to quickly get rid of something and or they really don't know the value of that item. Likewise, if you see something that is priced extremely high compared to other listings, disregard that one. More than likely it's either new with tags or people are just overvaluing the item. But in this case, most people are listing their Lacoste polo dress anywhere from $35 to $45. The second thing to determine here is what has the dress actually sold for. It's good to know what it's listed for on average, but we also want to know the average actual selling price of this dress. To do that, you can scroll and look for the sold listings, or you can use the filters off to the side to make it easier. We're going to select the status option and select sold. This will show us only the dresses that have sold and not the ones that are available. Looking at these sold prices here, I think it's safe to determine that they sell anywhere from about $35 to $40. Once you have a better idea of what your item typically sells for on Mercari, you're going to want to add some padding to that price. You're not going to list your item at the price that you think it will sell for. You're going to list it a little bit above that. This will make room for you to be able to use Mercari seller tools that we're going to be discussing in the next few tips. The first one of them being send offers to likers. When someone is interested in an item that you have for sale, they're going to tap the heart button right underneath your listing. And this will give you a notification on the Mercari app. Here towards the bottom, there's this little bell icon, so you're going to tap on that. And here's where all your notifications about all your listings will be. But the ones that you want to pay attention to are the ones that have the heart right next to it. When there's a heart there, that means that you now have the ability to send out discounted offers. So let's go ahead and do so for one of these here. I'm going to tap on this NBA shirt here. Towards the bottom, there is a promote option. We're going to tap on that. And then we're going to tap on offers to likers. Then Mercari will give you a suggestion of what your discounted offer should be, but you can always delete that and input your own and click next, and then it'll break down all the pricing for you, the offer you're sending out, the fee that's going to come out of it, the processing fee as well, and then at the very end it'll show you your final earnings. If you're okay with all of that, go ahead and click send offer. Some things to keep in mind when it comes to this feature of sending out offers is that you need to drop the price by at least 10% for it to work. And that is 10% of the historical price of your item. So if you once had it listed at 20 and then you bump up the price to 25, when you send out an offer, it's going to have to be 10% off the 20 because that is the lowest historical price. Everyone who has liked the item will receive the offer you send, and they have up to 24 hours to accept your offer. And lastly, you can send as many offers to likers as you want, but it can only be once per item every 3 days. For this reason, I like to wait to send out offers to likers until the item has a handful of likes. I will send out the offers when an item has about 5 likes, and then if it doesn't sell from there, I'll send out another offer when the item has about 10 likes. Unless the item is not getting lots of attention, say it's been listed for about a week and all it has is 3 to 4 likes, then I'll consider sending out offers earlier. But then on the other hand, if the item is getting lots of attention, say I listed the item today and within hours it already has 5, 7 likes, then I will wait it out a bit and wait for it to accumulate a lot more likes before sending out the offers to likers. So it all just depends, but basically I'm just trying to gauge and see to make sure that when I do send out this offer, it goes out to as many people as possible, because I'm not going to be able to send out another until the next 3 days. However, if your item doesn't get any likes, if it's not getting any attention, then this is not going to work, because without likes, you can't send out offers. In this case, you're going to want to use the next tip, the next tool, which is to promote your items by dropping the price. Again, here on the Mercari app, I'm going to tap on my profile picture up at the top, and then I'm going to click on selling. I'm going to go to my listings, and from here you can choose any listing to promote. Usually I like to promote those items that aren't getting any likes or any sort of attention and that they've been listed for quite a while. Let's go ahead and do these pair of black Born boots. I'm going to click on the promote option, and instead of hitting offers to likers, this time we're going to select the first option that says promote to everyone. There it'll give you your new price, and just tap on promote it. Dropping the price of your items will again send out the notification to any likers if there were any, and it will also move your item up in the search results. So if someone happens to be searching for the item you just promoted, it's going to be higher up on the page where it is more likely to sell. In order for this to work, you must drop the price of your item by 5% each time you decide to use this tool. You can only do it once per day per item, but with this one there is a limit. You can only promote up to 10 items a day. But if you're like me and you don't want to be bothered with remembering to go onto the Mercari app and drop prices every single day, then the next tip is for you, and that is to use smart pricing. When you're listing your item on Mercari, towards the bottom it's going to give you an option whether to turn on or turn off smart pricing. When you turn it on, you're going to have to put in your actual listing price and a floor price. The actual price is just what you initially want your item to be listed for, and the floor price is what's the bottom dollar you're willing to accept for your item. If you do decide to turn on smart pricing, Mercari's sophisticated AI will determine many different factors about your item, like the demand, the condition, the likes, the brand, the category, and it will take all this into account to determine when to drop the price of your item and by how much. Every time the AI does drop the price, the same thing will happen like the previous tip. Your item is going to be promoted higher in the search results, and your price is going to continue to drop on autopilot until your item sells or until it reaches the floor price that you set in the beginning. This is one of my favorite Mercari features. I have lots of things going on, so I'm happy to let Mercari do the work for me and promote my listings daily. If an item reaches the floor price and it still doesn't sell, I would drop the price manually like we did in the previous tip, but if I think the item is already at a too low of a price to continue to discount it, I will move on to tip number 10, which is to relist your items. Relisting your item literally means deleting the old listing and creating a whole new one. When you relist your items, it just refreshes it and revives it. It will come up in the newly listed categories. It will show up higher in search results, and it will just let you start from scratch all over again so that you can use the offers to likers and the promote features that we talked about. So it really is worth it to take the time to relist old stale items that just aren't moving. To relist an item, what you're going to want to do is come to your computer, click on your profile icon at the top right, click on My Listings, and from here you're going to choose the listing you want to relist. It's probably a good idea to order your listings from oldest to newest. That way you can take care of relisting your oldest items first. I'm going to select this Everlane dress to relist. Towards the bottom, you'll see something that says Sell Yours. That's the option you want to select. This will open up a new tag for you to create a new listing. What I'm going to do is minimize this window. Select the first tab and scoot it over. Go ahead and select the Everlane dress so that I can see all the information. Because the idea here is to take all of your pictures and move them over to the new listing. Same thing with the description and the rest of the information. We're going to copy and paste it into the new listing. To download your photos, just right click and click on Save Image As. This window will pop up and then you'll just click Save. And you're going to do the same with the rest of your pictures. Then you'll go to the new listing, click on Upload Photos, select your downloaded pictures and click Open. I'll just go ahead and rearrange these photos so that it makes sense. I like it to flow nicely. The title automatically copied over to the new listing, but this is a great time to reevaluate your title. Chances are, if this is a super old listing that you are relisting, you've learned a ton since then. So go ahead and add new keywords you've learned or rearrange it to make it better. The description, we are going to have to go to the old listing and copy and paste. But again, reassess this description and see if there are any changes you can make to improve it. A lot of the rest of the things will already be filled out. When it comes to the pricing, go ahead and reassess that as well. Depending on how long it's been since you first listed this item, the market price may have changed. So go ahead and look at it again like we did in tip number 6 to see what this item is actually selling for on Mercari right now. Maybe it's not worth what it once was, and your item may sell a lot faster if you decide to drop the price a bit. Once everything is set, go ahead and click List, and your new listing is live. All you'll have to do now is go back to the old one, click on Edit Listing, scroll to the bottom, and click Delete. I hope the tips that I've shared with you today help you out. I'll leave a playlist right here filled with more Mercari in-depth tutorials. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I'll see you next time.